Hello crafters, and welcome back. Before we start with a new page, let's do a recap of what we've done so far on our album. So this is the first page. It opens like this. Then we have the two pages that open like this and close. Then we have the following page, and here, in order for these pictures not to open up while you are trying to turn the page like this, I've used these cute heart-shaped paper clips to keep them in place. This, okay? So see, otherwise look how it would open up when you try to turn the page. So to keep them in place, I use these cute paper clips, and I'll show you what the paper clips. Of course you can use any kind of paper clips you want, but I had this in my stash, never used them. They are by American Crafts, and they are called Jumbo Hearts paper clips. They are 9 in a package. This is how they look like. So it's by American Crafts, and they are called Jumbo Hearts paper clips. So this is what I use to keep these pages in place, but like I said, any kind of paper clips you have will work. And the way I put the paper clips, I grab the page, the one that turns around, and as you can see, the paper clip it will hold the part of the pictures against this part that swivels around. Okay, so let's put on this on the side for the time being, and let's continue working on our album. Okay. So for the next page again, we edit. So we have the next page, the one that with the pocket, to which we edit the extra page, like we did in the beginning of our tutorial, exactly in the same manner. I already edited my page, and I'm going to show you what's my next idea. However, we are going to use Chipboard for this idea. This is only to test it, to see whether or not it works, and I only use like cardstock. This is it. And of course we are also going to use some magnets. So this will be our page, and it will also have some extra things with some tags that will go all the way through, but this is how it will function. So when you pull on the frame, and that's why we are going to use Chipboard for the frame, because cardstock is too flimsy for that, it's going to do this. And what we are also going to need for this is two very thin wires. I don't know whether or not it will work if you use some thread. I didn't try it with thread. My husband made these wires for me, and I'm going to have them available on my Etsy store for your purchase if you want. This measure, let's see, 9 7/8. Yes, 9 7/8. And they are right here on the back. See, this is where they are going to be. This is what makes the mechanism work. Okay, let's put this on the side. As well as this, we don't need this right now. I'm running out of space on my table. So what I would like you to do next is to this is a piece of cardstock, a 12 by 12, and this is a piece of chipboard that I cut at 11 by 11. We can put the cardstock on the side for the time being. The reason why I did this cross in the middle, it will be so much easier when we are ready to dress the frame all the way around to just match the corners of your chipboard with these diagonal lines, and this will place the frame exactly in the middle of the cardstock, and it will make it a lot easier instead of like, you know, measuring around to make sure it's in the middle of it. We just, do the crisscross lines, and as long as the corners meet the diagonal lines, that means that the chipboard or the frame is in the middle of it. Okay, so this piece of chipboard is 11 by 11, and we are going to create the frame. First, I would like you to test your chipboard. As you know, your chipboard will be more flexible on one side and less flexible on the other side, right? Because of the grain they are made. In the grain, when they made a chipboard, just like paper, they have a grain. So we are going to look for the part that is less flexible. So this one is very flexible, this one is less flexible. So test it, and once you find the side that is less flexible, put it down on your working space. Take your ruler and the pencil, and we are going to measure 1 inch from the base of the chipboard, and draw a line. Then take the chipboard, and we are going to do the same on the opposite side. So turn it around. So now the line that we've just drawn, it's on the upper side. Do the same, 1 inch. Now turn it around. So now the two lines are on left and right sides, and here we are going to draw 3/4 of an inch. All is from the base of the chipboard, okay? So 3/4 of an inch from the base of the chipboard. Now turn it around. We have to draw the line up here. So turn it, and we are going to measure here again 3/4 of an inch. So on the side that is less flexible, we are going to have 1 inch and 1 inch, and on the flexible side we are going to have 3/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch. And what I would like you to do right now is, what we are going to do next, we are going to cut 1/8 of an inch from all sides. So 1/8 from here, 1/8 from here, 1/8 from here, and 1/8 from here. So I'm going to take my heavy duty paper cutter, and I'm going to place this into my trimmer. So this is at 11 inch, so 1/8 of an inch down, which would mean 10 inch and 7/8. So basically I'm just cutting 1/8 of an inch from each side, okay? Making sure I'm 1/8 of an inch and cut. Okay, then I'm gonna do the same in the opposite side. So I'm gonna turn it around, and now because you already cut 1/8 of an inch, I'm going to place my chipboard at 10 inch and 3/4. 10 inch and 3/4. Something's not right. Did I cut this correctly. I'm such a doofus when it comes to cutting. Oh, yes, it feels like it's correct. Yeah, okay. So I'm turning it around. Okay, 1/8. Gonna do the same on the other side. So first cut is going to be a 10 inch and 7/8. Okay. And now the opposite, turn it. And this cut is going to be a 10 inch and 3/4. Put this away, we are not gonna need it anymore. Okay, here we are. So now this becomes 10 inch and 3/4 by 10 inch and 3/4. The reason why I didn't want to start with 10 inch and 3/4 is because I want the middle of this to be 9 1/4 by 9, and if I was going to cut 10 inch and 3/4 and then do 1 inch from here, it would have taken from the inside space once we cut all the way around to get our frame. Okay, the next thing I would like you to do is to get some, these are 3/8 of an inch magnets. Take 2. And we are going to place them on the size that we first marked at 1 inch. One at the bottom, one at the top in the opposite direction. Okay, we are going to draw a circle around them, so then we can cut the chipboard there. And these magnets are, so like I said, they are in diameter 3/8 of an inch, and the thickness is 1/16, which is exactly the thickness of your chipboard. Therefore, once we cut the chipboard around them, the magnets will sit inside the chipboard, and it's going to create a smooth surface. So let's put this on the side for the time being. And now let's cut our circles out. It doesn't have to be super perfect because this will be covered. As long as the magnet will sit inside there, it will be fine. This is medium-sized chipboard, so it's not easy to cut all the way through when just using a craft knife. Okay, let's see if we need to make this hole bigger. Yep, this is fine. The magnet sits in there, and now it feels like a nice smooth surface, so you don't feel the thickness of the magnet popping through. I'm gonna do the same on the other here. For some reason this one didn't come through properly. I didn't notice that my pencil was not drawing when I did this one. Okay. This will actually keep the frame stay in place on our page, so that when you turn the page it's not gonna move around. Let's test and make sure that our magnet fits inside. Yes, it does. Okay, now I can take it out and put this on the side. And now we are ready to cut our frame. So let me take my ruler. So we are going to cut from where the two lines intersects, to where the two lines intersect, so we can make a frame. I forgot to. Okay. Let's do the same on the other. I always like to work with opposite sides. As you can see, now I'm going to cut in the opposite side from where I cut the first time. Okay. Okay, we are good there too. this on the side, we are not going to need it. Okay, now we're going to put tape all around it. This is 1/2 inch tape, by the way. Before we remove the tape, let's take our 12 by 12 inch and let's place this in the middle, because you see, once you remove the tape backing, you don't have this wiggle room anymore. Therefore, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put it where it should be. So I'm matching the corners with the cross lines, and I'm going to mark in each corner where it should sit. Okay, like this. See, I marked in each corner. And now I'm ready to place my G-Borb frame on top of the cardstock. So I'm matching 2 of the corners, and I'm sure that the rest should be fine too. Okay, now I'm gonna take my magnets and I'm gonna place them inside. Okay, and the other one. I'm gonna put a little bit of tape on top of the magnet to hold it in place. Perfect. And now it's time to dress our frame. So this one is 7/8 and this one is 5/8. Okay, now I'm gonna use quickly my phone for a small calculation. Please bear with me, just wanted to make sure I'm doing things right here. Okay, so on the side that we have a wider border, we are going to place our ruler at 3/8. So we are going to draw 3/8, a line of 3/8 of an inch from the inside frame. We are going to do the same on the other side. So 3/8 of an inch. The lines on my ruler are a little bit faded, so it takes me a little bit longer. Okay, we are going to do the same. So this is inside the frame, as you can see, and on the outside the frame we are going to do the same thing. So again, 3/8 of an inch. It doesn't have to be super perfection, but still try to be as straight as you can. It's just that, like I said, my ruler slides, I have to buy a new ruler. Okay, and again on the opposite side, the 3/8 of an inch, and this is from the outside part of your frame, this measurement, 3/8 of an inch. Okay, now for this side, so this is 5, I would say this one at 1/4 of an inch. So we are going to do 1/4 of an inch. And 1/4 of an inch. same on the inside of the frame, 1/4 inch. And 1/4 inch. Now take your craft knife and cut on all the lines that we've just made. The reason why I use 2 rulers is because the lines on this one are more visible when you're using black than the lines on this ruler. But what I like about this ruler, it's non-skid, and while this one is kind of, it shifts when you try to cut, is because it's glossy. We are going to do the same on the inside, but on the inside you will need to stop at the intersection of the straight lines we just drew. So ignore the diagonal lines, and we are going to cut again an inside frame from where the straight lines intersect. Let's see how I can do this with this ruler. Okay. Okay, what I would like you to do now is to apply tape on the outside as well as on the inside of your frame. this is a quarter of inch tape, and I'm applying it as close to the outside margin of the cardstock. Okay, let's burnish it down. So as you can see, the tape is applied close to the edge of the cardstock. You see you got a little bit of border going on there. Okay, now what we're going to do, we are going to trim the corners, and for that I'm going to use this tool, and I'm going to use the part that says what does it say, .125, and I'm going to place it here with the intersection, and I'm going to crop right there, to cut right there. Okay, and I'm going to do this on all four corners. Okay, next step, we are going to cut diagonally from the corner of the inside frame to here, like that. Now I'm going to apply 1/8 of an inch tape on the inside of our frame, but this time it's going to sit on the chipboard. Actually, you know what? Apply it on the outside of the frame too, to ensure a good grip of the cardstock when we start dressing the chipboard. So I'm going to do it on the outside of the frame too. Before removing the tape, let's strain our paper. Actually, I'm gonna use the bone folder to trace around the chipboard, and now I'm gonna come and lift it up as tight as possible against the chipboard. Do the same on the opposite side. And we are going to do the same to the inside flaps. Perfect. So now we are going to remove the tape on these sides. And only a little bit from here so we don't and bring this flap in as tight as you can. Now we can remove the double-sided tape from the magnet as well. Burnish it very, very well. Okay, I'm gonna do the same on the opposite side. And once again, I cannot stress enough how important it is to watch the video first and then start working, because like I said, this is the first time I think about these layouts, and in case I do any errors, I don't want you guys to do errors. Just gonna burnish it very well. Okay, now let's do the same with these flaps. But before we raise the outside flaps, over here in the corner we have a little bit of cardstock, like probably 1/16 of an inch cardstock on the outside, so we have to bend this in. Okay, same on the other side. You can use your bone folder or your nail. See how it's now here, it's a little bit bent in. Okay, so let's work on this one first. Now let's work with the inside flap. And this is how it looks on the other side. See, very nice and covered all the way around. Okay, let's do the same here. Remove a little bit of the tape backing at the ends. Oh, come on. And then use your nail to, or your bone folder. But in this case, because it's a tiny corner, you can just use your nail. So this is how it looks on the back side, this is how it looks on the side that we are going to, this is gonna face you on your, when we are going to apply it on our scrapbook page. I'm just doing a little bit of more burnishing. I have a little bit of schmutz here, so I'm just gonna trim it down and burnish it. Great. Let me clean up my table a little bit. So now we have to finish dressing this side, so let's put this on the side for the time being. Let's take a piece of cardstock so, okay, great. Let's cut it at 11 by 11. 11 by 11 at first, and then I'm gonna trim around. And also the reason why I go this way, it's because that the frame punch only works in this one only works in 1/4 of an inch increments. So it's going to be someone, instead of now drawing, you know, like an inch from inside and then 3/4 of an inch from the other side, this is already set up at 1 inch and 3/4 of an inch, and it's going to create the original frame and then cut on the outside again at 1/8 of an inch. So let's do this first. So this is at 1 inch, this is at 3/4 of an inch. Let's bring our trim rule, our paper trimmer. So 1 inch here. No, actually, you know what? Let's cut 1/8 of an inch first from around it. So 10 7/8. Okay, yes, 10 7/8. Then we are going to cut the opposite, so we turn it around. Now this becomes 10 3/4. Now let's do this around. Again, 10 7/8. I should have cut inside frame first. That's alright. And then turn this around and 10 3/4. we are going to place this at 7/8 of an inch. That's why I said it was better off if we're gonna cut the inside frame first, but then it becomes too soft and it moves a lot. Okay. And now we're gonna cut this at 5/8. 5/8 here. Okay. And 5/8. Okay, and this should sit perfectly to cover the frame. Or not. See, that's why I say to always watch the video first. Oh no, it does, sorry. I was just putting it the wrong way. So there you go. Now, because when you use that frame, what it's called, the frame punch board, there sits around it here, and while here we have you know, straight. So what you can do, just use some, because this will sit on your page like this, so it's not going to be visible. But if you are like me and you want things to be right or as perfect as possible, you can use a little bit of ink here at the corners. And the reason why the ink doesn't sit too well is because we have some, what do you call it, some double-sided tape. Okay. Put this on the side, and now we are going to put tape all the way around it, and then, you know, glue it down on our base. Let's see, this is a 3/8, so I can put the 3/8 here. Oh, where's my... And I'm applying the tape as close as possible to the edge of the cardstock. here I can fit another 3/8 next to each other. What I did wrong here, so the tape should be close to the inside edge of the frame, so I'm gonna do that here. Okay, and for these sides I'm going to use, I think I can fit 1/4 of an inch. Let's see. No, 1/4 of an inch is too big. Okay, I'm gonna fit 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so as close to the inside edge. So this should fit perfectly like this, and it's not going to be easy, so we are going to remove just a little bit of tape. I'm gonna do each side at a time. So here I'm gonna start with a wide edge. Okay. Remove the rest, make sure it doesn't stick down before you are ready to apply it. And we are going to apply it slowly. I'm not pushing down right now, I'm just making sure, I'm just feeling the sides to make sure that it's nice and straight, but I'm not really pressing down. I'm gonna do the same here. So as you can see, my fingers just follow the sides, the inside and the outside sides of the frame. Same here. It feels okay for me, so now I'm gonna press it down and burnish it. So now everything feels nice and smooth, you don't even feel the magnets. But in order for me not to confuse later, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a little bit of pencil to know that this is the wrong side, so to speak, because when this frame will be applied, it will have to be like this. So the side where we apply that frame to cover all the way around, it will have to face down on your project. I can see this video is long already. We are going to stop the video here, and we are going to continue with this in the next video.